Alot.
You put a whole quart in there?
Yeah.
Look at that. Type F. Walmart.
Type Ford.
Type Ford. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Hunter Tuned. Sorry for no videos. Just, I don't know. I've been lazy.
Well, and we've been doing stuff.
And we've been just doing other shit and getting. I've been so productive the last couple days and whatnot, but whatever. Yeah, get over it. Anyways, we're back. And we're working on the old Fairmont. The old Fairmont. It's a Fairmonte Carlo. That's what we're gonna call it, the Fairmonte Carlo.
Perfect.
Or something else. I don't know what we'd call it. What should we name the Fairmont?
The Fairmont.
The Fairmont. The Fair. I want to call it the Fair Lady, like what Ryan did with his car. And I'm like, nah. Well, no, his is the Unfair Lady. Mine's the Fair Lady.
Yeah.
Or the Fair Old Lady. Fair Old Lady? Anyways, so we worked on this thing quite a bit. But it had this big old Holley Demon carburetor on it. We pulled this guy off, and my buddy actually came over and he frickin' let me borrow his Holley 600, I think this is. So this is a more suited carburetor for this size motor. And when we put it on, we had some issues. We had a leaking bolt on the float bowl here. There's gaskets in between each of these bolts that hold the float bowl on. So we had to replace one of these gaskets. We had to replace the accelerator pump gasket, and we had to replace one of the needle and seats back here as well. So we replaced all that stuff, and now the carburetor is not leaking at all. But it is not exactly tuned perfectly quite yet. It still kind of loads up at idle, but at least it like revs up and the motor sounds clean. So we did that, charged battery up, that's been good. And my buddy also hooked me up with a freaking exhaust for this thing. He had some laying off of a Mustang, and last night we threw that on. I'll show you what we're working with. Okay, so this is just like a 2.5 inch exhaust. Comes right off the headers there into a H pipe, and then to two Flowmaster 44 mufflers. I just got jack stands under it right now, and I bolted it to the headers. But I need to make a mount for this. This already had a mount, like an exhaust mount, but I have to connect this mount to that mount there. So I'm just going to weld some flat stock to it, so we have something to hold the exhaust up. And once that's done, we got tranny fluid in it already. What else do we have to do to it? We had to move the cross member. We had to flip it upside down for this exhaust to fit. Or maybe it was on upside down and we put it on the right way this time. I'm not sure. But exhaust seems to clear. It only sits a little bit below like the frame. I also, in the last day, I actually put a steel transmission pan on here with a cork gasket, and that is not leaking anymore. Because the old tranny pan was like totally warped and just tacoed. Oop. Yeah, that'll seal really good. That'll seal real good. Yep, she's warped in between every bolt hole.
Over-tightening.
Over-tighten the old thin chrome pan. So anyways, we're going to mount this exhaust quick with just some flat stock. We're going to cut a chunk off, mount the exhaust, and maybe we'll get this thing back on the ground.
We will. There's no maybe.
Black Ford.
Black Betty.
Black Betty. Black Ford. Black Betty. Summit. Damn, that must mean it's a true V8.
It is. True V8.
Yeah. These motors are so small.
Yeah.
Compared to like a Chevy small block,
no.
This is kind of a tiny looking motor. What is going on, guys? So we got the Fairmont up and running. We got the exhaust hung up. Just kind of welded like a piece of flat stock where the old mount was, and kind of just sent it. The muffler's kind of close to the drive shaft, but it's not hitting. And the exhaust sounds really good. It does need tailpipes still, but yeah, anyways, we ended up getting the carburetor tuned up a little bit. Like I said, we fixed the couple leaks that the carburetor had on it, and I also removed the nitrous plate because the nitrous plate here had like these fittings weren't even like tight on here, and I didn't want that to cause like a vacuum leak or something. So like there's two little fittings on the end of this thing. Yeah, I honestly planned on doing a video on just like, you know, basics of a nitrous kit for a carbureted car or whatever, and just kind of going over the pieces and parts for you guys. But in the meantime, like I said, I took the plate off and I just put the carburetor right onto the intake, and we got it running really good. The float bowls were set a little bit too high, and you can actually check that on these by, there's a little screw right here, and you want it to just kind of trickle out of the screw there when it's running, and you set it with these set screws on the front and back fuel bowl. I'm not like, I guess I could probably do this. Honestly, I just like, sometimes I just like overthink stuff, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I need an expert. Which, why the fuck do I think that way? I have no idea. Because I can realistically do this stuff. I just choose not to, I guess. I don't know why. Because it's really not that difficult. But we got the float level set, and that seems all good to go. And the car kept loading up. And I kind of figured that this choke plate was actually like stuck shut. So this is the choke plate right here. So like when you start it on a cold day, the choke shuts, limits the air, sends more fuel into the motor to get it fired up. And that plate was actually, you know, like I said, shut. And it wasn't opening when you like hit the throttle or anything like that. So the car was loading up with fuel. So we actually just zip tied the little linkage for the choke just wide open. And it runs way freaking better. It literally, like, it'll sit here and idle at like 1,000 or so. And you got to mess with like these little air screws too. There's like an air screw on one side and an air screw on the other, and you kind of got to play with them back and forth until the car kind of smooths out. At least that's what these carburetor guys tell me all the time. And I got a buddy, like I said, that came over and he was messing with it for a while, and we got it running really good. And then when you put it in gear, the fucker would die, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know, whatever. But if I hold my foot on the gas, we actually went out and took it for a drive, and the motor seemed like it was running good. This fucker's a pooch. Like, it has no power. I mean, it felt clean, but it's still just a little 302, and it's stock. I don't think there's really anything done to it. But we were driving it around, and all of a sudden the car started idling higher, and it was like the cruise control was on, and I couldn't get it to like fucking slow down. And I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know if the idle was set a little weird, or those little mixture screws were messed with, or anything like that. Or maybe it's just running lean because it's almost out of gas. I don't know. Yeah, so we brought it back and pulled it in the garage. I chucked it in park and shut it off, and there's fucking smoke billowing out of the hood. I didn't film any of this. I probably should have. But there was smoke billowing from under the hood. And the valve covers on both sides were leaking. So the valve cover on this side was leaking out of like the front area here, dripping onto the header. And then on this side, it was leaking really bad onto the header as well. And I don't know if it was all valve cover related, but these gaskets are totally fucking bitched. Like, you can't even get them to, I mean, maybe we could get them to seal again, I don't know, but they seem like they're pretty stretched out. But the oil, the main, like, biggest oil leak that was coming from was out of the breather. So I think this motor's kind of tired, and it was leaking oil out of the breathers, like I said, and it was leaking out of the back breather on this valve cover, and it was just pouring out of that fucker. So this motor's probably pretty tacoed from what I'm seeing. Like, it's got a busted ring or something like that, and it's just got a lot of blow-by. So I don't know. I plan on maybe just chucking a set of valve cover gaskets in it and seeing if I can get it, because I don't know, it runs really freaking smooth. Like, if you're sitting in the garage and you're like, bang, 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 it's fucking mint. But then you put a load on it and it runs different. I don't know. I fucking hate carburetors. I hate them so much. It's just so stupid. They run like shit. They run like fucking garbage. Unless you have like a stock carb on it, then it makes no power. You know, it's like you either got a lot of, I don't know, unless you spend a lot of money on a good carb and whatever, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about carburetors, and I haven't messed with a whole lot of them, but we did get my Regal with my small block 400 running really good with a carburetor. So I kind of want to get this one running decent. I mean, I already put the time and effort into frickin' putting a tranny pan on it and putting exhaust on it and all that shit. But also while we were on the test drive, I put it in reverse and it clunks really hard, which is usually a sign of like low fluid if it clunks super hard like that. I backed it out of the driveway, chucked it in 3 or drive, and I drove it down the road and it was stuck in first gear. It like wouldn't shift. So I was just fucking with the shifter and I hit second gear and then it shifted into second. And I was like, okay, maybe it's a reverse pattern fucking valve body or something. So I go next gear and it goes into first. So I kicked it in second and kicked it in third and it stayed in second. It didn't go into third gear. So I don't know if the tranny's just low on fluid. It could be. I added 4 quarts of fluid and this thing takes like 5.5, I think, total. And all I did was take the pan off. I don't know. Maybe I got to add another quart or so because I did get into it in first gear and I just kind of punched it real quick and it slipped. So it might be low on fluid, and I checked the fluid before we left and it seemed like it was good. But sometimes when you add fluid like into the dipstick here, you usually want to leave it sit for like 15-20 minutes and then check it again, because sometimes you get a fake reading on the dipstick and it won't actually be full. So I bet you it's just low on tranny fluid and that's why it's slipping and not hitting third gear, I'm hoping. Like I said, it could be tranny could be bad or something, but I don't know. I also just want to chuck a set of stock valve covers on it, and hopefully it won't be leaking oil anymore. So if I just throw stock valve covers on, new gaskets, that's as much money as I want to fucking spend on this thing. I do not want to spend money or time on this because it's a fucking 302 carbureted garbage. Like, I hate this shit. Hate it. I'm spoiled with fuel injection, guys. I'm spoiled. Super spoiled. But you're never going to know it all until you try it all. So you got to just play with it and try to just deal with it until you can figure it out. Because once you know it, it'll help you learn as a person and kind of help you, it'll help you along with everything. If you can kind of know a little bit of carburetor and a little bit of fuel injection and a little bit of everything, you'll know more about everything, if that makes sense. But yeah, other than that, this thing sounds really good. Like I said, it smokes a little bit out of the back, like it's got a busted ring or something, but I don't know. I'll probably fuck with it for another day or so until I completely call it quits with the whole carbureted 302. But like I said, it's got that C4 transmission, I believe, and the shifter is still a little wonky. So when I drove it, it felt like it goes all the way into park and it goes all the way down into first gear, but it's not like perfectly aligned, I don't think. So I might have to mess with the shifter a little bit. I also want to jack this thing back up and make sure the tranny's not leaking, because I haven't really checked that since I put the tranny pan on and whatever, but it wasn't leaking when it was up in the air, and I started it a few times and it wasn't leaking. But yeah, like I said, more fluid, more carburetor bullshit, dealing with that, and hopefully we can get rid of that high idle, because you set the idle and then it would change, and then it would come back and it would change, and I don't know, it's like it's got a vacuum leak. So I don't know, this guy had cork gaskets on the valve cover and he's got a cork gasket on the intake, which I heard kind of suck, so that could be issue as well. Maybe the intake gaskets are leaking or something. But yeah, so sorry I haven't filmed fucking shit, guys. I kind of wanted to go over that quick with you guys as well. So yeah, I haven't really filmed a whole lot lately, guys, and I apologize greatly. But I don't know what's been into me. I just really haven't been wanting to film for some odd fucking reason. I gotta like snap out of it, and I gotta start filming more stuff, because I'm trying to have YouTube be some sort of income and be, an outlet for me to try to make some money, or try to, get a shop or a dyno or whatever. I don't know. I've been doing stuff like every day, but I just feel like it's not good enough to post a video. Like, I feel like I'm having like depression about it or something, where I'm just like, oh, it's not good enough, or or I can't film that, it'd be stupid, people wouldn't watch that, or I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the fuck has gotten into me the last like week or two, but I haven't had any motivation to film. I don't know. You guys got to help me out of this. It fucking sucks, but I got the Fairmont, and I'm like, oh, new project. People aren't going to watch it. My Civic's fucking dialed in. What am I going to film about it? Like, I've already filmed all the shit I can think of with the Civic. I got customer cars rolling in and out of here all the fucking time. I don't know if I want to film them because I have the customer sitting there, and I feel like I can't film with them there. I don't know. It's really tough. It's tough trying to do like daily videos and then try to like do work on shit, and then I want to do moto vlogs on the R1, and I just feel like I want the videos to maintain a steady like view rate, and I really don't want them to drop. Like, I feel like sometimes I'll post a video about like my bike or something off the wall that I deal with, like the jet skis and shit, and the video gets like half the amount of views it normally does, and I'm like, if you guys don't want to fucking watch what I'm doing, don't fucking watch, I guess. But I don't know. I can't think straight when it comes to YouTube lately. I can't think of what I want to do, can't think of what I want to film, and I can't think of... I don't know. We were supposed to go drag racing tomorrow, and it is fucking pouring rain right now. It literally just started to downpour. So that sucks. Like I said, we were supposed to go racing tomorrow. I was like, oh, you know, we'll pick everything back up with another track video, but clearly we can't do that. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this video. I'm just talking to the camera. Hopefully you enjoy it. I've had a lot of people ask me about they're like, oh, you're not filming and shit because your anxiety's bad or like whatever, and to be completely honest, my anxiety has been fucking awesome lately. Like, I haven't had barely any anxiety lately. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you kind of understand, like, I've come from a background where I have a lot of anxiety and shit. And I think I'm just, it sounds weird, but like, I think I'm just sitting here not making videos because I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Like, what do I want to do? I'm trying to focus my time on the one thing. But I have so many things that I want to film and so many things that I want to accomplish in one day that I can't do any of it because I get overwhelmed with myself, and I'm like, I don't know. I had a counselor one time that told me, she's like, you need to focus on one thing at a time. You need to focus on one thing and do that one thing because you'll feel way more productive and feel better at the end of the day if you focus on one thing and do that one thing. And then once you finish that one thing, you can focus on another thing, one thing. Not focus on like, oh fuck, I got like 3 injector orders, I got two fucking cars I gotta work on, I gotta tune this, I gotta ride my R1, I gotta drive my Civic, I gotta film a video, I gotta do all this shit, and it's really hard to balance all of it because it's very easy to get scatterbrained and not be able to do anything. And that's kind of what it's been lately, where I've just been like doing so much shit, I don't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to explain, but yeah. So anyways, hopefully we'll get the Fairmont dialed in, and we'll give you an update on that. I just figured I'd kind of throw in this random bullshit at the end of the video. Yeah, hopefully we get back on track soon, guys. Like I said, I've just been kind of in a fucking blur lately with YouTube and what to film and what to do with my life and what to do with money that I have, and I don't know. It's so hard, like, if you got a bunch of money in your fucking pocket, it's so hard. For me, it's so hard to not be like, I want a bigger motor, and I want a bigger turbo, and I want a faster fucking motorcycle, and I want a dirt bike, and I want all this stuff. When it's like, focus, Hunter, focus. You gotta focus your fucking money and mind on one thing, and you gotta just do that. And you gotta focus on getting the thing you want done. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, guys? It's really hard. And then I'm like going in these dilemmas of like, do I want to fucking shop? Do I really want to shop? Because I have so much fun on my own stuff. If I'm working on other people's shit all the time, I won't be able to enjoy my own stuff as much. And that's kind of like one of my other dilemmas of like, I really enjoy working on my own stuff. I hate working on other people's stuff. No offense. But like, people are just unappreciative and take you for granted, and it's just fucking not worth it sometimes. Some people are fucking awesome. Some people are 100% awesome, but like I tuned a car this weekend. We were tuning it, and I worked out a fuckload of bugs on that car. And at the end of the day, I didn't put the motor together. I didn't do any of it. And the motor had like a slight knock to it. And I'm like, I don't know what to fucking tell you, guy. And he's like, well, wouldn't it blow up if it was untuned faster than it would if it was tuned? And I'm like, you'd be surprised, dude, because a lot of times if you're untuned, the motor doesn't have the ability to make power, and it doesn't have the ability to actually stress the parts on the bottom end. Whereas if, when I tuned it, it actually made horsepower, and it clean pulled all the way through and actually stressed on the bottom end, where, you know, people will be like, oh, I'm blaming the tune for that. And it's like, no, guy, I literally just made the thing make power like it's supposed to, and the bottom end didn't hold up. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know. Whatever. It sucks. I got another customer car sitting outside right now that we're working on. That's going to be a really big horsepower setup. And I'm hoping we can have a lot of fun with that here in the next couple days. I'm just fucking rambling. I'm rambling and rambling and rambling, and I'm sorry. Just kind of venting to you guys because people are bitching at me for not making a video, and here I am. But I'm going to throw this video up for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It's kind of scattered all over like it always fucking is lately. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know what you guys want to see on the channel. If not, I'm just going to fucking make videos talking, and if you don't watch it, you don't watch it. If you watch it, thank you. If you don't watch it, fuck off. I don't care. Whatever. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully we'll get on the normal YouTube schedule fucking soon, because I'd really like to. It's just hard sometimes. And if you don't do YouTube, you won't understand. If you do YouTube, you probably understand. I just like to have the most productive videos possible. Like, have the most amount of information, the most amount of fuck around, the most amount of laughs, most amount of cool shit to watch, etc. And I feel like I can't produce that right now, so I don't want to make videos. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys later. Have a great one. Hello, hello, hello. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.